Hey everybody, Jillian here for Illustrated Faith to share with you a brand new Bible journaling process video today. I'm in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 verses 16 and 17, going through the session 5 devotional from the hashtag goals kit from Illustrated Faith and DaySpring. So I'm really excited to journal with you guys today, and I'm going to start by marking off my verse just to make sure that I don't cover it up with paint and stickers and all that. I still want it to be visible on my page. So for today's entry, you can see I've pulled a few Neocolor water-soluble crayons there over to the right, and I thought it would be really fun to experiment with them a little bit today. I was totally inspired by the artwork on one of the devotional cards, actually the artwork on the session 6 card, which is about peace goals. I am hurtling toward the end of the kit contents, like the stickers and things like that, and wanted to challenge myself to get creative and think of a way that I could pull things from my stash to create some additional entries to really stretch what's included in the kit. And so you can see here that I'm just experimenting with these Neocolors. I've had so much fun using them on all different entries through this devotional kit. And so what I'm doing is dipping the end of each crayon in a jar of water here, and then taking to my page and drawing like a little diamond shape. So again, trying to replicate that look, not perfectly, but that's on the session 6 card. And then I'm going to go in with a pen and create some of those geometric shapes. But first I'm going to hit that with my heat tool to help speed up the drying process. The colors that I used for this are a pretty good match to the kit. I used the light pink color is called pink. The purplish color is called mauve. The darker turquoise color is greenish blue, and then this pinkish one that I'm picking up now is actually called purple. So just going to add a little bit more of that color in here. And I wanted to do this first and make it almost like a background for my page and put my title and my journaling on top of that. So like I said, we're talking about kindness goals here, and those are the clear stickers that I'm going to use to get my title down for this entry. So I'm just looking here to see if I want to use the stamp to create those little geometric shapes, but then I thought, nah, let's try and draw them. That might be a little more fun, but I will go in with the stamps afterward and just use that as a finishing touch. So again, just really inspired by the artwork on that one card off to the left there, and recreating it on my page. It's a great way to meditate on the verse because this doesn't take much thought. But a great way to meditate on these verses in 2 Thessalonians, which say, "May our Lord Jesus Christ himself and God our Father, who loved us and by his grace gave us eternal encouragement and good hope, encourage your hearts and strengthen you in every good deed and word." When I read this verse, I really honed in on that almost parenthetical part between the commas, where it's describing God our Father. It says, "who loved us and by his grace gave us eternal encouragement and good hope." And so when I studied this passage before doing this entry in my Bible, I broke it down word for word, and just to help digest it and really meditate on what goodness is packed in this verse. I'll show you in a moment here what that looked like for me, but first, to go ahead and get my title down, I decided to stack these clear stickers on top of each other, and I didn't want the word kindness to stretch across my page and cover up the very verse that I was journaling, so I decided to cut it in half, and it turned out great. You can't even tell that there was a cut there, and then just included a few more doodles in that empty space to the left of the second half of that word. So for my journaling, you can see my quiet time journal here. I basically went through each word of that section of the verse in between the commas and wrote out, maybe looked up a couple of those words to see what they meant, like really what Paul was really trying to communicate, and it just helped me understand the verse so much more. And so I broke it down in this way, where it says, "God our Father who loved us," and I think about, whoa, I know me, and I'm totally undeserving of his love, but the good news is he knows me even better than I know me, and still chose to sacrifice himself to reconcile me to him, and that is so mind-blowing amazing, isn't it? And then it says, by his grace, he gave us, and for this word gave, I just noted how incredibly generous he was. He incredibly generously gave us this unmerited favor. And through his grace gave us eternal encouragement. Another translation says eternal comfort, which I wrote down means consolation, solace. He gave us eternal encouragement and good hope. Wonderful hope, and is the joyful and confident expectation of eternal salvation. So going through this particular section of the verse and breaking it down word by word was so, oh my goodness, impactful. And then I wrote here in my journal is kind of like a reflection question. In light of this almost parenthetical part of the verse, how does that influence the way that I should interact with those around me? And that kind of goes along with the question that we're asked at the end of the devotional here. It says, are there people you need to show grace to? And then it goes a bit further and says, is there an area in your life you have a hard time forgiving yourself for? So those are great jumping off points for journaling this page. And then as I was journaling this verse and thinking about it, I was reminded of this really great book I read from Max Lucado called Grace. And I wrote down this little excerpt from it in one of my older journals where Max Lucado says, he, God, dispenses his goodness not with an eyedropper, but with a fire hydrant. He says, your heart is a Dixie cup and his grace is the Mediterranean Sea. You simply can't contain it all. Let it spill out, pour forth. And then I actually finished off my journaling here on the page with this quote from his book that says, the grace given, give grace. So now that I've got my verse highlighted, I'm trying to find a tab option here, and I have no qualms about cutting apart devotional cards or anything like that, but in this case decided to punch the word goals from the little thank you card that's included in the kit and decided just to make that my tab. Then I'm going to go in with this black cross washi tape from Illustrated Faith and put that down to reinforce the tab a little bit. Then I'm going to go in, now that I have the main parts of my entry down, I'm going to go in with the Neocolors a bit more and add a few more diamonds across the page. I really wanted to keep it kind of in a diagonal and not put them all over the place. Really had to fight that urge really, really hard. Then I am going to go in with the stamp here, and I'm going to only ink the top half of it so that I only have a few of these little geometric shapes on the page. You could totally do what Shauna Noel did and cut your stamp up. I didn't want to do that today, but maybe. But an alternative to cutting it up is just inking only the portion that you want stamped on the page. And that's going to do it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you will join us as we work through the Goals devotional kit together. If you're interested in picking it up, it is linked in the video description below. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon.